our next session is going to be a very, very exciting one. It takes us into the realm of what is cutting-edge technology, strategic national defense, and this panel is going to explore how space and defense sectors are setting the stage for India to emerge as a global superpower.
I am absolutely excited for space and defense, truly an area that I look forward to. Ladies and gentlemen, this session is moderated by the distinguished Rear Admiral retired Shekhar Mittalji, whose leadership in maritime and defense innovation is widely recognized. This discussion features experts like Mr. Arjun Rao, renowned for his strategic insights at Special Invest, Dr. Vinod Kumar, whose work at InSpace is shaping India's space ambitions, and Mr. Arun T. Ramachandran, a key leader at L&T. Please give them a big hand, everyone.
Good morning, gentlemen, ladies. My privilege to be hosting this particular session. My special thanks to my co-panelists, very, very distinguished panelists, right, I have with me, starting with Mr. Ramachandani. He is the Executive Vice President of L&T, has over almost about 40 years of service and heading L&T in various mega projects, right? And then we have also Dr. Vinod Kumar. He is Director InSpace. You will hear a lot about this particular agency, which has done remarkable work in last 4 years in opening up the space as far as NGE is concerned, non-government entities are concerned, the regulatory side of the space, commercialization of the space activities. We will know more from him. And then also we have from the, the VC side, without whom nothing happens really. The startup industry doesn't move. And we have a very renowned gentleman with us, Mr. Arjun Rao. He is the partner Special Invest. In fact, it's one of the doing a wonderful job and promoting the defense startups as well as the space startups. I personally have also interacted with their team. They are absolutely in the forefront of supporting this particular, the movement in both the defense and the aerospace side, right? So before I start with it, may I request my panelists to start, just to give a very brief introduction of all of you can give a brief introduction, and then I'll start with on the main subject.
Okay, good morning. You'll be wondering what an old company like Larsen & Toubro is doing here. I just want to say that in today's ecosystem, companies like ours recognize the strength of the startup community, and we believe that it can be leveraged both for the growth of the country and for companies like ours. So we do engage strongly with the startup community. We do look at them as a great source of innovation and as a great driver of growth for tomorrow's economy. And, so my name is Arun Ramchandani, and I head the Precision Engineering and Systems business of L&T. I've been working with L&T for the last 40 years. We have a significant business in the defense and aerospace segment. And I dare say that, 40 years back when I joined L&T as a trainee, we began the defense business as a startup. In those days, the defense sector was not open to the private industry. And we worked with DRDO, we developed our own products, and today we have created about $1 billion industry, maybe 35 years down the line, in that sector. So that's a brief introduction about myself.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vinod Kumar. And something on InSpace also you can particularly cover.
Yeah. Thank you, dear Admiral Sir. Very good morning all. How many of you know InSpace? Please raise hand. Very few know. So it's the right thing you have told that I should tell. Yeah, I am Dr. Vinod Kumar. Basically, I am Director Promotion Directorate at Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center. So it's very nice. First of all, thanks to the organizers for bringing out such a nice panel discussion. So InSpace, you know ISRO? ISRO, how many of you know? Yeah, couple of. So see, before 2020, ISRO was doing every activity in space. Means they are launching satellite, making satellite, and having own orbital slots, etc. But it was in 24 June 2020 when Honorable Prime Minister announced the space sector reform, where each company, those who are early, working as a vendor or new companies, can take up any activity in space which ISRO was doing. So it was a dramatic shift. Any Indian citizen can carry out any space activity under the sun in the space sector. So that is the brief, wherein you can make your own launch vehicle, you can launch your satellite, manufacture your satellite, do the data analysis, take the data, take the orbital slot. So there is a dramatic shift. Now there was a requirement to have a space regulator, because this activity has to be regulated. So that was the purpose that Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center was formed. We are basically a regulator of space, but promotion is required because our industry is at a nascent stage. So various things are there. We will cover strategies, how we can become the next global giant from India. I am Director Promotion, heading Promotion Directorate at InSpace. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Arjun, please.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, Admiral Sir, for having me and, as part of these esteemed gentlemen, right? I represent Special Invest. We're an early stage venture capital firm investing in deep technology ideas. I think Amitabh Kant sir previously talked about the criticality of deep tech for our country at this point in time across multiple sectors, but particularly within defense and space tech. We've been running Special Invest now for about 8+ years, have made close to 40 investments across multiple cutting-edge sectors that are at the intersection of engineering, hardware, sciences, and software. Usually some intersection of these things coming together to solve really complex problems is our base definition of deep tech. We've been fortunate and lucky enough to particularly have a strong presence and exposure to the space and defense startup ecosystem. We were very early investors in the space tech startup landscape in this country in 2018. Maybe, sir, we were a little impatient and we invested even before in-space policy was put, but we invested in a company called Agnikul Cosmos, which was 100% 3D printed rocket from IIT Madras in 2018. We have since then gone on to invest in Earth observation satellites, communication satellites, quantum cryptography, and other space tech solutions. We're possibly the most active space tech investor in this country with 6 investments in that domain, and hope to do more, many more in the future with the support of InSpace and the ecosystem. Of course, none of this would be possible without sort of, riding on the shoulders of giants such as ISRO or even LLT for that matter, right? The talent pool and this ecosystem, right? So we're very excited. We're of course doing things in energy, green hydrogen, in defense and communication as well. 40+ companies, 8 years, a little more than $100 million that we have accessible to us. But what drives us every day is working with young entrepreneurs who are trying to, young and old entrepreneurs for that matter, who are trying to change the landscape of Indian defense and space tech, and for India to be a very, very strong force. So thankful to be here, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a nice. So basically, let's get into the subject for the day. The next global giants from India. Yes. Being an optimist and a co-founder of Rakisi Marine, a company which has won the first Aditi 1 contract, right? And this is for the fabrication design of XL UUV, which is extra large unmanned underwater vehicle, right? Which was in the wish list of the Navy for last 20 years. And now this project has been given in an open competition by IDEX. We'll come on the IDEX a little later for those who are not aware of it, by MOD, right, Ministry of Defense, Indian Navy. And the point of significance is this vessel, entire vessel, as I said, will be powered by a totally indigenous software developed in-house by our team. right? That is the biggest of the plus. Indian Navy, mind you, was waiting for last 20 years for the project. The next important point to note is which are the other companies world over who are doing this development? And you will read about only the giants, big giants like Boeing, like Elta, like the Naval Group are the ones who are working on this system. And if these are the type of projects which are being given to startups like us, Rakesi Marine, and there are many others who are doing a phenomenal job, certainly as far as the Indian defense startup is concerned, or for that matter space startup is concerned, we are on the right path, right? So it is a time for celebration, but then what has to be seen is, do we really, the trust what has been reposed by the system, are we able to meet that particular thing, the specifications what has been given, right? Now same is the story, as he mentioned in the space sector with the Agnikul, right? They have done a phenomenal job, and you talk to the large number of VCs who have really committed funds at the early stage, right? And these sort of success stories rubs on the system and provides further impetus to the startup setup. As per InSpace website, nearly 400 startups are active and more than 300 million has been raised in funding by the space startups. And same is the story, right, with the defense startups. Large number of startups have raised funds. You would have read yesterday's news only. Tonuo have raised large amount of funds, 4th stage of funding before the IPO. Idea Forge, Sagar Defense, Planes, Rakesi Marine, there are some others who have succeeded in raising good funds on account of clear visibility as far as the order book is concerned and the demonstration of the execution capabilities as far as the project is concerned. But likely order book with each of these startups post-successful demonstration of the prototypes is in hundreds of crores with each startup. Like today, the Rakesi Marine has a clear visibility of order as on today, almost of over 400 to 500 crores. And this is just within about a year and a half, about 2 years or so. It does shows that these startups are on the right trajectory to meet indigenous requirements of high-end weapon systems. Of course, the success stories have been made possible due to transformative policy initiatives at both macro and micro levels by the political leadership of the country. When these things flow down right from the Prime Minister level, right, it has its different impact. And that's what is very evident. Adoption of Make in India in 2015, followed by a strategic transition to Atmanirbhar Bharat in 2018, which entailed generation of IP within the country. That means what? You are moving basically from manufacturing to print, from manufacturing to print to manufacturing to design, right? And through the help of the startups. So basically, government, in order to move from Make in India to a stage where, you were going to Atmanirbhar, came out with a startup policy, and to further this startup policy, government introduced two new agencies. One was in 2018 where IDEX was set up, and IDEX was set up as a part of DIO, which is a Section 8 company. We'll cover a little more about the IDEX, right? Because this IDEX has played a major role along with the defense forces, along with the Ministry of Defense, along with the VC setup, all of them put together. So you see, basically it is a very planned move by the government at the central level to see that how do you move the manufacturing from TOT, which was taking place till about 2014, to manufacturing in India, right, through the startup setup. The shift from DRDO-led R&D to startup-driven approach incentivized by government grants has democratized and expanded the reach of innovation, commercial R&D and entrepreneurship to young, bright minds in the colleges, MSMEs and new entrepreneurs, allowing rapid induction of new age technologies in the defense and space systems, two sectors which have a strong symbiotic relationships. These have played major role in the growth of the startups, in maturing of the startups, in connecting these startups with the users, whether it is defense, whether it is DRDO, whether it is ISRO and such agencies. Now, as far as this IDEX is concerned, it was launched by Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister in 2018 with the aim to create an ecosystem to foster innovation in technology development in defense and aerospace by engaging innovators, entrepreneurs, academia, R&D institutes to develop technologically advanced solutions for modernizing armed forces. Please note, in 2018, when IDEX was launched, it was also to look after the space side, right? It is only subsequently government realized the potential, and government realized that they are opening up, they'll be able to harness that considerable opportunity which is available in the sector, and also the capability which is there with our youth, with our entrepreneurs, that they came out with another agency in space in 2020. Now, in last 7 years, IDEX has launched 544, problem statements which have been given to defense startups to take up. These challenges include the problem statements as received from the armed forces and 16 DPSUs on diverse systems: communication systems, sensors, imaging, AI, ML, sensors technology, arms and ammunition, drones, autonomous vessels, etc. Now, 13,000 applications have been received, and grant of 400 crores has been approved so far. 4 types of challenges with differing grant amounts based on the complexity are raised, and these include the disk challenge. Now here, important point is, generally we all know governments are a little slow to move. But please realize, in 2018, IDEX started with a disk challenge which had a grant of only 1.5 crores. Which was subsequently revised to the Defense Prime. Now this Defense Prime statements, the challenges had a grant of rupees 10 crores. This included something like smart ships and things like that. And government further upped the ante by coming up with a program of Aditi. And this is the same program I mentioned to you. The first challenge under Aditi was won by Rakesi Marine with the in-house developed software for autonomous vessels. Now, within 1 year, government has announced 3 Aditi challenges, right? And as I mentioned to you, each challenges entail grant of up to 25 crores, right? So what are we saying? Government is ready to open the purse strings, right, to the people, to the entrepreneurs, to the startups who are ready to take the challenges as posed by the armed forces or as posed by the PSUs. So again and again, what is the point which is coming? Government is doing its bit. Now it's up to us, our own people, right? If we are ready to take the challenges, please raise the hand. And in fact, publicly, Honorable Defense Minister and so are the other ministers in the government have said, if you are ready with a product, you have a product, approach us, we'll help you, we'll support you. And I'm making these statements particularly for the VC community, right? So to give them a confidence, as far as government is concerned, government is doing its role. Right? It is up to us to realize, yes, the system at this moment is supportive enough, right, in the favor of startups. Now, initially, majority of the challenges has come from the Indian Navy. And as far as the Indian Navy is concerned, amongst the armed forces, it has been pioneering the indigenization since late 60s, right? We started our shipbuilding program, that Leander class program in late 60s. And since then, right, almost over 90% of our naval ships are being built in country, right? Almost as on today, there are good, 45 ships which are under construction for the Navy alone, and same for the Coast Guard, right? So this is about IDEX. You have heard about in-space also, right? So now let's get into the pointed questions, right? So I'll ask some pointed questions, right, with our panelists to educate all of us, right? Now, as far as L&T is concerned, we know the contribution of the L&T. We know the size of L&T. We know how long in every space, in every sector they are there, and they have played a pioneering role. And same is the story with the defense. Whether it is the Navy, Army, Air Force, you must be hearing about the part construction of the submarines, part construction of the ships, or full construction of the ships as the case, in differing case, or the artillery guns. So they are there everywhere. And same is the torpedo tube launchers and the rocket launchers and different weapon systems, right? So my basic point and basic question to him is, which you initially touched upon, how do you see this startup setup? Do you see them as a challenge, right, to the big giants like L&T, or you feel that yes, they have a supplementary role and can really support in this, vision of India to be a builder's India?
So like I said in the beginning, we see it more of an opportunity than a challenge. We believe that this is an ecosystem that can be harnessed for innovation, that can enable large companies like ours to innovate quicker and to democratize our innovation. So broadly, I would say it's a huge opportunity. Of course, many of them with their disruptive efforts could be challengers to people like us who are established, and we are very cognizant of that, and we actually look at how we can leverage their strength for our development.
Great, sir. Just one more thing, since L&T has been involved in big projects for a considerable time, what problems you envisage startups will face, in ramping up to the level what we are talking about today? Some advice to the startups?
Yeah. So, if there is one thing that my journey has taught me, that there are no shortcuts in life, and, the road to success and sustainable success is a hard one. And, for all those startups who are aspiring, who have innovation, converting innovation into a sustainable business model is something which requires a lot of effort. It requires building organizations, it requires building capabilities, it requires penetrating the market, it requires building reliability into the product, and especially in a sector like defense, where product reliability is very critical. It doesn't suffice to have an idea which works in the lab. You have to take it out there in the field and manage the multiple challenges which the field throws up.
I think you've hit the nail. It's very, very rightly said, converting innovation to a sustainable business solution, right? These are two different things, and they need to be worked upon by the startups. Very, very relevant point here. Dr. Vinod, I have a couple of questions from your side, right? I am not so well aware of in space. Of course, for this panel, I did do some research. But tell me, you said you are a regulator. Does Department of Space officially recognize you as a regulator? Is that the role which is given to you, or it is a assumed role? I saw somewhere it's a autonomous body. I saw somewhere the crest of Government of India is being used, right? So what is the exact position? Suppose a proposal goes from you today, is it binding on the Space Department, Ministry of Space, or how does it work? Just in very short, brief.
Excellent. Excellent question. So we are attached to the Department of Space because Space Activities Bill is pending. So it is in the last stage, which will be put in the Parliament at any time. So we are a Government of India body, we are a regulator of space, but since now we have to regulate the activities of government also, like ISRO and private companies also, so we are supposed to be an autonomous body. So we are formed with a cabinet decision, and gazette notification is already there for that, and we have submitted the Space Activities Bill to the committee. At any time it can come in Parliament, then we are fully autonomous.
So how much budgetary support you get year after year?
It is from Department of Space, because the department is required to be for that. So can I come to the point of title of this talk, where space global giant?
Please.
Yeah, very interesting topic, that what all we are doing, what all is required to become a global giant. So I will divide it into two parts. What are the core pillars to become a global giant? What are the strengths of India? So what is the cost-effective solutions? We are known for cost-effective solutions, be it manufacturing, be it IT solution, be it sending satellite to Mars, Moon, or anything for that. So that is our core. We should use that to become a global giant. And we are sure that in that direction our companies are working, and they are much ahead rest of the world companies, except one or two countries. Second thing is the real-time data-driven solutions. We have been working, our company, our private startups. You know, we were operationalized in 2022. And in 2014, there were one startup only, and presently we have 300 plus space startup. So there's a big jump. We are the world leader in registering companies, plus providing various kind of solutions. The third approach is the advanced in-house technologies. If you come these three things to become a global giant, additionally you need the demand for that. For sustainability, you need the demand. So if you count last 1 year and so, I can see around 50,000 crore worth of opportunity is there for the private companies to work in the space sector. This include a small part of ISRO budget as well, because whenever ISRO is taking the subsystems and other things are done, 60% of that is from the private companies. So we have a lot of money demand from the government. Additionally, as a part of decadal vision and strategy, where we have devised the strategy for the Indian space sector, we want to take it from 2% to 8%. Our target is within next 10 years, by 2033, our economy, our share in global economy should be around $44 billion. To that, we are working with all central ministries, state governments, in addition to the private companies and individuals for the demand generation. That is a very important, 50,000 crore is from them, from the government only. It doesn't include defense budget. If you do that, it can be other. Strategies maybe I will take up later, but I need to tell what all we are doing is the transfer of technology. Over 80 technologies we have transferred. Lab utilization, we have established a 100 crore lab where you can carry out the activities, your design activities, testing and take to the launch pad. We have the co-working space also. Strategic funding, we have the scheme from pre-incubation entrepreneurship development program up to the seed fund scheme where 1 crore we give. Technology adoption fund of 500 crore where up to 25 crore one company will give. And venture capitalist fund is also there, which is 1,000 crore alternative investment fund. So fund of fund for deep tech is already announced by 1 lakh crore by the government in this budget. You see expertise, we have the residence expert pool at our payroll where they are available for your consultation free of cost. We have technical consultants, 1 minute I will take because most of the time went in the introduction. Then comes the talent development and skill development. We have already conducted 9 courses in space domain which are very important to develop the skill. They are short-term capsule courses recognized by Ministry of Entrepreneurship and Skill Development. They are credit courses. We have prepared the syllabus for BTech minor and major degree plus MTech. They are also approved by All India Council of Technical Education to prepare the youth. We have the immersion program for the youth. We have the program for, in addition to immersion program,
Dr. Vinod, time has run out. May I request you?
Last point, sir. Last point, sir. So, in addition to this, to become a global giant, it is necessary to have the global collaboration. We have carried out a study on global collaboration strategy for projecting India as a global manufacturing hub. With these few words, I will stop, sir. Just 2-3 minutes I have taken. Thank you. 10 minutes were yours. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Nice of you. I am being reminded by the organizers, time has run out. Sorry for curtailing that. Mr. Arjun, will you like to share your views on the VC side? What do you expect more from the agencies, particularly the government, IDEX, or in space, so as to inspire more confidence in VCs?
Thank you. I think, as an early stage startup, there are 2 primary challenges that companies face outside of needing more capital from VCs. That's, number one is how long does it take and how can they build the robust solution that Arun sir spoke about. Our ecosystem coming from a services and a software led startup ecosystem over the last 20 years is possibly relatively more tuned to build fast, fail fast, and break things sort of model, which is okay possibly in some software and commercial use cases, but is definitely not okay in this defense and space ecosystem. So I think time to build and capital infrastructure to build cutting edge products is one of the number one core challenges that early stage startups face. So one, venture capital can provide some of the capital, but the infrastructure needed, you need lab facilities, you need testing facilities, you need access to know-how through agencies such as InSpace and others, you need materials access and supply chain, you need very specialized chips and sensors. That again is an opportunity for our ecosystem to build out, because we may be reliant on some other countries that may be politically sensitive for us. So all of these factors go into building a very robust product that can be taken to the defense forces or the space ecosystem, right? So that is number one. We need to provide this as an ecosystem in addition to capital. Number two, of course, the IDEX grants, either at design stage or at production stage, linked benefits are being availed by multiple of our startups and the rest of the ecosystem, which is very, very promising. I think what we need to do is figure out the best way of leveraging every single rupee that comes in from private capital, and in for every rupee that comes in, if government, industry and academia particularly can come together and give another 3 or 4 rupees, right? So then instead of a startup having to raise $5 or $10 million, they can start with $2 million, right? And starting with $2 million and with that mindset, then you can go a long way. And with that, if you can crack the first orders with either defense forces through the IDEX challenges or the Aditi challenges, right? And that leverage of capital is immensely important. We're seeing this happening a lot. A lot of our portfolio companies are benefiting, and non-portfolio companies as well. But we're at a critical place where the type of ideas are also emerging and changing. I think war is changing in a very unique way, right? So there is the old and then there's the new. We need drones, we need AI systems, we need data, we need newer kinds of sensors. I think the opportunities ahead are phenomenal. So two parts: how to build robust systems by working with the ecosystem, and number two, how to leverage every single dollar that is available, because we're not necessarily a dollar rich.
Wonderful advice by my co-panelists. I'm thankful to all of them, and I think this will go a long way in creating a sustained, value system for the successful transfer of our startups to a global level, to a global scale. I think the technology is changing very, very rapidly, and with this rapidly changing technology, our startups, the young startups, the bright boys from IITs, and other good colleges like NITs are best placed to see how these new technologies are adopted in our systems. So thank you very much once again for the participation, and thank you, gentlemen, for being part of this discussion. Thank you.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.